Sleep, bet, repeat. That's how we get down on the opening line at EliteSportsBetting.com. I'll be your host, Benny Ricciardi, and today we're going to go into another round of our college football betting information, basically. And in order to do that, I brought in my two betting experts here, our boys, Golfman Paulie, Real Frank Frank. Frank, we'll start with you, bro. How you doing today?
How's it going? You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, not too bad. I brought the kids. We're down in our South Jersey house at the moment. So Casa Ricciardi, sir, as we like to call it, just means we're in South Jersey. Nothing big here, but yeah, they got their presents. They got to play. I got a lot of work to do today. We still got some grass growing that needs to be cut and got to take down some of the Christmas decorations and all that stuff. But we got a lot of work to do before then on college football, which is why I got you guys here. So, Paulie, how about you, man? Good holidays?
Yeah, good holidays. Ready to get back in the grind here at college football.
Yeah, we had a couple of good games last week. We talked about this video about a week ago or so. We talked about all the games up until basically today, the 26th, when we're recording this video. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a two-part series for you guys. So today we're going to talk about the games on the 27th, and then we'll do a second video where we're going to do the games on the 28th to the 30th, which will get you through the weekend. And then on the 30th, on Monday, we'll come back with another video talking about the 31st and, the rest of the games thereon. So let's start here on the 27th. The first game up, we got the Military Bowl. We got University of North Carolina at 6-6, taking on Temple at 8-4. Let's see here. We got a spread. Currently, it's 4.5 Carolina favored. 53 is the over-under. It actually opened with Carolina favored by 6 and the over-under of 54. Now, I know I saw a play up there for you, Paulie, in this game. So we'll start this one with you. What were you looking at in this game, and why do you like it?
Yeah, I took UNC here, minus the 4.5. My number for this game is minus 8.5. UNC, coached by Mack Brown, is 6-6 on the year. All 6 of their losses have been by a touchdown or less. And Mack Brown is a very good coach who's going to have his team prepared for the bowl. I think they have an edge of their quarterback and Howell, a very solid player. They've, UNC with the close games, they almost beat Clemson earlier in the year. And now you're playing a Temple team who had a pretty solid season, but they did have some screw-ups in some of the games. Coached by Rod Carey, used to coach at Northern Illinois, who was notorious for being a terrible preparer in terms of bowl games, and just Northern Illinois just getting absolutely smoked in bowl games. So I have a lean here towards Mack Brown with a coaching edge over Rod Carey.
All right. Frank, I know I didn't see anything up for you in the package, but you got anything on this game, or you on market here?
Yeah, I'm on market here. I had it looks like it got bet up to 6 recently. I had it at like 7, so I missed out on the movement a little bit. I think it was early as this morning going up. So when I went to submit today, it had already moved up a bit. So I had it around 7. So I do agree with the movement, and I agree with the play there. But nothing from me specifically on the game. Temple's coming off playing UConn, obviously blew them out, and one of the worst teams in football. So they basically haven't played a real game in a month. It's been like 2 weeks since that game, and they're kicking off on Friday. So 3 weeks or something without playing a real football team, basically playing a high school football team with UConn. So I agree with the movement, but nothing for me. I missed the boat a little bit on this one.
I'm going to apologize to our 3 Husky fan followers who we just lost after the last statement. But whatever, it's okay. That happens.
And I've got the total at 51, so if I were to make a play, it would be slightly under. But it looks like that total stayed pretty steady, 52.5 opener, 53 now. So, if you forced me to play something, it would be that. But I'm not – I got nothing here.
Now, you said you saw this game down at -6 again this morning?
Yeah, it literally just moved, I think, to like -5.5 and 6 in books.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what it opened at. It opened at 6, and then it jumped down to 4.5, and then now it's coming back up to the way that we all think it probably should be. So, I mean, you still are on the right side of that 7 if you wanted to play it, but obviously it would have been nicer to get it at 4.5. So, if you're playing anywhere where they're slow with the movement on that line and you can get it at under 5, I think that's probably the way you want to go.
And like we said before, there's a lot of dead points there too, right? Like, 4.5, 5.5. Those are kind of dead points. So it's not as big of a movement as you would see from like 1.5 to 3.5 or something, but it's still significant and probably too much for me to chase at this point.
Yeah, again, want to stay on the right side of those key numbers, and 4 or 5, not really key numbers in football here. All right, so let's move on to the next game. The Pinstripe Bowl being played in Yankee Stadium for some god-awful reason with horrible sightlines for football, but we'll talk about that some other time. 6-6 Michigan State going and taking on 8-4 Wake Forest in this one. Looking at the opening line of -3.5, 50.5 on the total, kind of hung around there, seeing some 3.5, seeing some 4s, seeing some 50s, seeing some 50s.5, seeing 149.5 here too. But basically, we're looking at a Michigan State favored by a little bit over a field goal and about 50 overall on the points. So, Frank, we'll start with you this time. Anything on this one?
Yeah, no play for me at the moment. Michigan State is one of those teams that they're not really gonna. I mean, you're seeing a total of 50. You're just not going to be a lot of points. Wake Forest has actually played, especially recently, some high-scoring games. They got blown out by Clemson and then blew out Duke, and they scored 66 points in that game, and then 69 points against Syracuse in overtime. So they've played some high-scoring games. With you know how Michigan State goes at this point. They're gonna drag it out. They're gonna run the ball, play super slow. I've got the total around like 48. So if it got to like 51.5, I'd be interested. I don't necessarily see that happening. I got the game at 4.5, so Wake Forest plus 4.5. So again, nothing from me. I'm close to some plays, but this is another wash for me.
Paulie, anything for you?
Nothing on this game for me. I'm within 1 point on both the spread and the total.
Yeah, so I mean, both of basically everybody here is kind of thinking the same thing. Vegas did a good number, good job putting this number right where it should be there. So unless we see some big moves here or anything crazy like that, this is probably one of those games that, like the rest of the world, we won't care too much about. Texas Bowl, Texas A&M at 7-5, taking on Oklahoma State at 8-4. Let me get the numbers here on this one. We got Texas A&M favored. So they opened at -4 with a total of 54. I'm seeing a lot of -6.5s here. So it did move up a little bit in Texas A&M's favor. I guess you could consider this a home game for Texas, but I mean, it's really a home game for both teams, to be honest. Although I got to see where this is being played. Houston, right? So probably more of a home game for Texas A&M than for Oklahoma State, but driving distance for both if you really wanted to. Paulie, I think you had a play on this game as well, right?
Yeah, I grabbed Texas A&M -6. I would still play it at the -6.5. If it hit 7, I probably would not. I got the true line there about -8. Texas A&M might have played one of the hardest schedules I've ever seen in college football. Their losses this year were to Clemson by 14, Auburn by 8, Alabama by 19, Georgia by 6, and LSU by 43. So the teams that they lost to are literally like the best of the best. And on the other games, they, not necessarily won convincingly, but they handled their weaker opponents. And I see another weaker opponent here in Oklahoma State, and we're getting them for under a touchdown here. So it leans towards Kellen Mond and Texas A&M here.
All right, Frank, anything for you in this game?
Yeah, I like Texas A&M as well. I didn't put a play on it because it's another game where I missed the boat this morning. I got it at 7.5. Like you said, it was at like 4, and it's moved quite a bit here. Mm-hmm. I'm still slightly interested for a lot of the reasons that Paulie said. Oklahoma State, their schedule wasn't daunting, but they did play some good teams in TCU and Oklahoma, and they got blown out by Oklahoma. But this is kind of one of those games where you kind of see Oklahoma State's ranked 25th. It's hard to nail down these like end of the season rankings towards the end of the board there, the top 25. But Texas A&M coming into the season was ranked and seemed like they were pretty good talent. And like Paulie said, they've had arguably the toughest schedule in college football. So you're looking at a team that's been tested and everything, and if Texas A&M played the schedule Oklahoma State had, they'd be a top 15 team. I have them ranked 16th. They just had such a horrible schedule and not their own, doing there. Compared to Oklahoma State, I got them ranked 38th. So, it's one of those games where people see the rankings and they think that, one team's better than the other one. But when you really drill down to it, Texas A&M's a far better football team with way more talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about, a slightly easier schedule, and this is a top 15 team, so I like Texas A&M, not at the current number, but if it went to 6, I would kind of be interested there.
All right, so I think it's safe to say that everybody's on the A&M side of this game. What we're really kind of looking at is what kind of number we can get on it. So,
yeah, if I had to be, it would be A&M on the side there.
All right, so yeah, if you can find a -6 somewhere or less than that, that's probably a place where you can put in a safe play. Paulie said he likes it up to 6.5 even. So if you can get it under 7 in his view, it's still someplace you can put it down on. But we do think A&M is the more talented team, and therefore, if you're going to be using one of these two teams in anything, you should probably be leaning to the A&M side in this game. So the next game up is the Holiday Bowl. We got 9-3 Iowa taking on 8-4 University of Southern California. It is around a 2 and a 2.5 point Iowa advantage here. They're favored by 2 to 2.5, depending on where we're looking. Seeing a lot of 52.5 basically on the over-under, and that's kind of what it opened at. It opened at Iowa -2.5 and 52. So we really haven't seen much movement, more than a half a point in either direction here. Paulie, we'll start with you this time. Anything you're looking at on this game, Iowa USC?
Numbers are only slightly off for me. I have it as -3 and 54 for the total. So with it being, within 1 or 2 points there, really no edge for me. It is interesting to see because you have two, kind of contrasting styles with USC, kind of doing the air raid spread there versus, Iowa, which is a little bit more, pounded out with a little bit of, running the clock and such.
Okay. Frank, anything for you in this one?
Yeah, I think these slower games are, easier kind of to predict for bookmakers and for bettors in general. Like we talked about the Michigan State game, how we think it's bang on, and I've got Iowa -3 and the total at 15.5. This game will be slower. It'll be, Iowa's going to try to drag it out, keep it close enough to have the ball at the end. Both these teams have played pretty tough schedules. I mean, Iowa went through the gauntlet in the Big Ten, and USC has, they've played what they would have had to have played Notre Dame, Utah, Oregon. So they played pretty tough schedules. These are two pretty good teams, in all honesty, that played pretty tough schedules and lost their way there. I have Iowa slightly better. My model does tend to prefer elite defenses over elite offenses for some reason. It's been like that for a while, but Iowa's 13th in the country in defensive efficiency in my model. So, USC's 18th in offensive efficiency, but this game's going to drag out. It's not particularly what I'm interested in watching, but I also don't have a plan on either side here.
Yeah, so another game that maybe not watching and not betting on is probably the smart way to go out and play this one.
Yeah.
Both of these guys seem to be pretty much on the market in this one, so not much of an edge, not much of an advantage, and that means not much for us to look at on the betting side. So the last one we have is the Cheez-Its Bowl. I shit you not. That is exactly what it's called right now. So get a box of Cheez-Its, throw some in the bowl, and sit down and watch this one. Interesting game, though. 10-2 Air Force taking on Washington State. So, Frank, we'll start with you this time. Anything you're looking at on this game?
Yeah, I'm really close here, and I'm kind of going back and forth on the under. The game got bet up to 68.5. I've got it at 65. Yeah, I haven't submitted yet. I'm kind of looking around and waiting to see if it's going to keep going. I could maybe get a 69. I'd be happy because it's Pinnacle is 60.5 -111. So it's really close to a play for me. I don't like fading big line moves, especially, this late, as long as the game has been out. But like you said, Air Force 10-2, and it's not really that impressive in my opinion. The schedule's pretty bad. I mean, they beat Hawaii by 30. They played a lot of slower, like really low scoring games, and then they have these like random 43-24 type scores in there. This is a big total. I mean, it's 68.5. It's probably going to be a good game to watch. We know how Washington State goes. They play really fast. But even if you look at their more recent games, 31-13 against Washington. Then there was 107 total points against Oregon State. But that's another team that likes to gun it around. I see this game more in the 65 range. So I'm leaning towards the under here, but I'm waiting to see if I can get a 69 maybe in there somewhere, and then fade it back down.
Yeah, so Paulie, I'm kind of on the same side as Frank here. I like to be under on the 69. I don't know if you have a preference, on that when it comes around.
I was waiting for you to jump in on that one, Benny.
Yeah, while he was talking, I was trying to figure out some way that I could make a joke out of that. But either way, no. But 69 would be a good number if we can get. 68.5 is what it's sitting at right now. 66.5 is pretty much what it opened. I think you had a play in the package on this game as well, right? What are you looking at in the Air Force Washington Cheez-It Bowl?
Yeah, I took Air Force -2.5 here. I got the number in my lines at -4.5, so a little bit of edge there. I think it's playable up to -3. Air Force, I think with their rushing offense, will give Washington State a little bit of trouble here. And I'm not that big of a believer in Mike Leach when it comes to bowl games, as he has been known to do some wacky things, some wacky play calls. Just kind of go out there and have fun as opposed to grinding it out, where Air Force, I think, really wants to put a W on the board here.
All right, so would you kind of be of the same mindset that Frank was talking about, where the under probably looks more likely in this one if we're looking for a grinded out Air Force kind of performance?
Yeah, my number is 65.5 for the under for this game. So it was just outside playing it.
Okay, so you're both hoping that this keeps getting steamed up a little bit, and we can catch an under on it right there as well. All right, cool. So those are the last two things here for the games on the 27th. So that'll get you guys through, let's see, today's the 26th, Thursday. So that'll get you guys through Friday. We're going to stop this video here. We're going to come back with another one where we start talking about the games on Saturday and then the games that happen on Monday as well. This way we break it up for you. So this will be the video for 6/27. If you're looking for any of the games to play on Friday, make sure you check this one out. And if you're looking for the thoughts that these guys have on the Saturday games, the championship games, and everything beyond, just click on the next video. That'll be up in a little bit as well. So excuse me here. For Frank and for Paulie, this is Benny with EliteSportsBetting.com.